Hey everyone, this is Christopher Luxon, the former CEO of Air New Zealand.
This is John Lee Dumas, the founder and host of Entrepreneurs on Fire.
This is Tracy Ibarra. I'm in Executive Solutions at Dell Technologies.
This is Travis Chappell, founder of Build Your Network. If you are wanting to learn how to embrace change,
To navigate through disruption as a leader,
Then listen to the Leadership is Changing podcast.
The Leadership is Changing podcast.
the Leadership is Changing podcast with my good friend,
my very good friend, Denis Giannoutsos.
Welcome to Leadership is Changing. Each week, we and our guests provide information and insights through exploring leading change. This is taking your leadership to another level by finding the balance between executive excellence and personal well-being through stories that inspire real change. It's time to adapt in our fast-moving world when leadership is changing with your host, Denis Giannoutsos.
Hey, welcome to the show, Leadership is Changing. What we as leaders know to be true is that change is constant. Leaders everywhere confront similar obstacles because people are people, but everywhere you go, leaders are overwhelmed, disrupted, and under pressure. They run from email to email, meeting to meeting. Many leaders are not changing quick enough, which means they run the risk of becoming irrelevant and being left behind. The purpose of the show is taking our listeners' leadership to another level by finding their balance between executive excellence and personal well-being through stories that inspire real change. I believe we don't have enough effective leaders in the world today, and if we get the leaders to step up and lead change, then they can inspire real change. Hey listeners, it's now time to adapt in our fast-moving world. Hey listeners, if you haven't already checked out the Facebook group or the LinkedIn page, please go ahead and do that. We'd love to see you on those different platforms and have you join those communities and contribute in the discussions around leadership is changing. I want to welcome you to the Ask Denis episode, which is a freestyle episode which happens once a week. I'm asked a question by our listeners, or I share my thoughts, insights, and experiences from working with many leaders around the globe. Well, I've been asked this question a few times and I thought, well, we better get this one across the line and help the listeners understand this one. And the question is, why do you need a coach? So people ask me this all the time, and it's a good question, and it needs to be answered. So what is a coach? Well, first of all, an executive coach is someone who is dedicated to helping a person expand their knowledge and develop personal skills that will help them become a better leader. This is done by improving the existing work habits, the efficiencies, the interpersonal skills, work habits, and professional skills. Now, a lot of these coaches tend to work often with CEOs, executives, board members, and managers. Their primary goal is to help these individuals develop the skills required to ensure success at their present position that they hold. Now, there are many reasons why individuals and businesses choose to hire an executive coach or coaches. Many businesses have discovered that an executive coach is beneficial for newly promoted executives, as an example. They have been shown to be beneficial for individuals who have recently been promoted because they can help them develop the necessary skills required for that new position. They will develop the skills needed to work with their fellow employees, successfully handle their new responsibilities, and then how to be able to communicate effectively. Executive coaches aren't only beneficial for those who have recently been promoted. They can also be beneficial for the CEOs and executives who might be trying to gain a new perspective on their jobs. Maybe it's gaining a new insight into how they can help their business grow, develop, and go to new levels, and how to manage their time more efficiently. Or how can they strategize, innovate, and develop new products? The most experienced and established business leaders understand the importance of personal development and why it should never be overlooked. Many organizations decide to push it to the side, or we don't have time for that. And I'm here to say that those organizations that understand that personal development is important, they've come to see how continually improving themselves can improve the quality of their work and their organizations. An executive coach can increase the level of satisfaction an individual feels towards their job, help them improve that communication style, help them develop better time management skills, and take note of areas in the business that may need to be improved as well. The world has been going through some massive change in the past 18 months with this pandemic. I believe that many organizations want to develop their executives and leaders at all levels. They're wanting their executives and leaders to be able to handle all scenarios, and in particular, being able to handle ambiguity, the unknown, and the unfamiliar territory. Organizations will want their executives and leaders to be coached either one-on-one or in teams. An experienced coach understands what it takes to become the best leader you can be, and they possess tools needed to assist you on your leadership journey. If you believe that you could benefit from the services of an executive coach, it's highly recommended that you choose someone who's experienced and dedicated to helping individuals improve themselves. Now, there are some questions for you to think about in deciding to engage with an executive coach, and here are some of them that I want to share with you. What do our executives and leaders need in the way of development? How might we develop our executives and leaders? What is the reason you want to hire a coach? How do you select the right coach? And then how do we engage that coach or coaches? And what do we need to do to get the most value from engaging a coach? And then what's the right approach for our employees? As I said before, is it one-on-one or is it a team's coaching approach? Listeners, these are important questions for you to consider. Now, if I can help you and your organization through this journey, please feel free to contact me so we can discuss. I have many years of experience in developing or creating, growing, and developing an internal coaching organization in large corporates and medium-sized organizations. I also have a lot of experience in actually selecting coaches and engaging coaches, but I also have a lot of experience in working with leaders one-on-one or in teams to help coach them and get into the strategy, the insights, the development around certain skills, as I've talked about before, that can actually help you in your organization. For many organizations, for many leaders, they're not sure where they need to go. They're not sure who they should talk to. They're not sure who they can trust in actually having that kind of discussion about finding the right coaches or understanding what the needs are for their own organization and their leaders. Organizations that do hire an executive coach experience great improvement in their executives, their leaders, and their business overall. Team, if you're wanting that kind of help, feel free to reach out to me, as I said before, and contact me through social media. Do a direct message to me, or send me an email, Denis@leadingchangepartners.com. Hey, listeners, if you haven't already checked out the Facebook group or the LinkedIn page, go ahead and check those platforms out because we'd love to see you join those different platforms. Today I wanted to answer that question, which is, why do you need a coach? I think it's a question that a lot of people are asking and are not sure on the answer. So hopefully today they will give you a little bit of an understanding on where things are for you and some things that you might need to consider when you're thinking about hiring or engaging a coach. Listeners, what we as leaders know to be true is that change is constant. Change is incredibly scary, especially the unknown and unfamiliar territory. It's time to adapt in our fast-moving world when leadership is changing. Hey, look out for the episodes as they're being published. Download them, have a listen, put a review and a rating. Feel free to share them with your friends, your family, and your network. Hey, if there's any feedback you'd like to give me about the show, or if you have a question for the Ask Denis Freestyle episode, feel free to send me an email, Denis@leadingchangepartners.com. Hey, listeners, it's always a pleasure being with you. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, bye for now.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Leadership is Changing with your host, Denis Giannoutsas. Each week, we and our guests provide information and insights through exploring leading change, inspiring executives and leaders to adapt and lead a bigger game in a fast-moving world.